Where did your love for running come from? How did you get involved? And where does the journey to running 300 marathons start?
Honestly, I suppose like the majority of us are running away from life, aren't we? I don't care what anybody says. It's therapy. It's free therapy when you're in your teens. I was a cyclist. I was a Gaelic footballer in my teens. The bike is the same as running. It's a freedom. You go out and you just run and you forget the worry. And yeah, my teenage life, whether it was school, sport, family life, it may be like if you're a teenager, it is chaotic. And I loved the freedom that a bike would give me, the freedom that running gave me. I loved it. I was very fortunate. Genetically, I don't come from the best, but I've been stubborn enough that when I cycled for Ireland underage. I played Dublin minor football underage, obviously minor level, and I was always one of these guys that I'm stubborn enough that I'm in for a penny, I'm in for a pound, and I love to win. I love a challenge and I love competition. And most of all, I love to see other people succeed, but I do like to win. And people say, "Oh, you're very eager." I love to win, and I love that feeling of exhaustion when you run a race. I love to see the person beside me, whether that's in an Ironman, a bike race, or a run, just been exhausted. That sheer not having a drop of energy left, and I love that feeling of myself. So yeah, I had that from my teenage years. I was lucky enough. Now I went to college doing sports, and then I suppose I dropped out of college probably 2 years in, and I went into billing, and within a space then maybe another year to on, I went self-employed. I started driving, and I bought a house all in the space of 6 months. And I went from being super fit, training every day, cycling in and out of work, to doing nothing. And I just got lazy and fat. In the space of 6 months, I went from being like 10 and a half stone race weight to 16 stone without realizing it.
Wow.
Yeah, I just ballooned, and I suppose I got greedy during the boom times, like the early noughties, and I loved the money. I was 21, 22 years of age. I had a house. I had a Land Cruiser. I was living the dream, but it was getting unhealthy, you know. And I went away on the holidays with a friend of mine who had always been with me, Nolene, and we'd known each other since we were kids. And she's a 6 foot blonde triathlete, super fit physiotherapist, and I was now this chunky monkey, and I didn't realize it. And we were on holidays, and the sun came around, and we were messing. And she said, "You've got very unhealthy, Jer." I was like, "What are you talking about?" And I always tell the story, and she was like, "No, you've got fat and you've got lazy." And in my head, I still thought I was this ripped guy who got the scholarship for sport, who had done sport in college. And I was like, "No." I said, "What are you talking about, you crazy woman?" She goes, "What waist are you?" And I always tell the story, and I'm a short ass, so I'm 5'7". And she goes, "What waist are your new jeans?" And we're away in Spain. I said, the new jeans, they're waist 36. And she goes, "On what leg are you?" And I went, 31. And she goes, "I rest my case. Your waist is now bigger than your leg. You're obese. Look." And I was, my vanity kicked in, I was like, "The hell with you, woman? How dare you? You may, she's 6 months, she's blowing all these men around. I'm waddling around. I was kind of going, "No, I'll show you." I said, "The Dublin City Marathon in 6 months' time, I'll run it. And I'm going to run it under 3:20 or 3:30. And she's like, "You will, all right." And I said, "I will. I'm going to lose the weight." So I came home, and the first couple of days, I went up to DCU Park, Harbour Park, there, Albert College Park in Collins Avenue. And I ran, that was in 1 mile loops. And I ran the first mile, and I was exhausted. And I was shocked. I was like, how did I go from being the guy that was racing 6 months? Like, I was racing bikes, I was doing short runs, I was doing, how did I go from this to this? But then it kicked in. Then that competitive edge that I always had. My competition up to that had been, buy houses, make money. And it sounds very materialistic, but that's where I got caught up in that world. And then suddenly it was like, no, I'm the athlete again. And I put my head down and I ran the marathon. I think I went 3:20 something. And at that stage, there was very few. I wasn't with a club. I was doing my own training with a couple of guys from Clonley, older guys that were probably in their 60s, who were old school. And we do a couple of laps of Albert College Park. And that was it. I remember, and I got to 13 miles,